Did you know that the tradition of hot cross buns dates back to the 12th century and yet they are easier to make at home than you might think? In this video, you'll learn how to make delicious hot cross buns from scratch, showing that they are too easy to buy when you can create them yourself. We are beginning by adding some yeast to our milk and just a little bit of sugar to wake up the yeast. Allow this to rest for 5 minutes and then we're going to add the other ingredients. Now we are going to add our eggs to this. And we are adding some melted butter. And this makes our hot cross buns very nice and moist. Vanilla for extra added flavor. Ginger, this is fresh ginger. You want to build on the flavor profile of your hot cross buns. I am going in with some orange extract. You can use freshly grated orange or you can omit it. Tonka beans. Let's talk about tonka beans a bit. These tonka beans I got from the Caribbean and they are similar to vanilla beans. They are very flavorful in baked items and this is how they look. I am going to only use half today in this recipe. You want to grate this on your grater. They smell amazing and they are very aromatic. Now I'm going to whisk this and have all the flavors of the tonka bean, vanilla, butter incorporated in here. For our dry ingredients, we are going in with the rest of our sugar, flour. This is all-purpose flour. You can use bread flour in this recipe. Salt to balance all the flavors. Mixed spice, pumpkin spice. I am using nutmeg and cinnamon. Whisk this together. A lot of people believe that hot cross buns is a very complicated recipe, but in fact it actually is not, and it's very cheap to make. So we are adding our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients. Get all the wet ingredients in here, and now let's add our fruits to this. I am adding cranberry, mixed glazed fruits, some Thompson raisins, and we're gonna mix everything in. We're gonna start by mixing the wet to incorporate into the dry, and then we're gonna turn it over to our surface and we are going to be kneading. Many people believe that making hot cross buns is a complicated task that requires baking expertise, which prevents them from trying at home, but this recipe is so easy that anyone can make it, even a beginning baker. A good tip into getting a good quality hot cross buns is not to over mix it. Yes, you want the gluten to form, but you don't want to over mix the dough. Dust the surface with flour and you just want to fold the batter in. Just enough that you could place it in a bowl in a circular form, and we're going to allow it to rise. While I'm rolling this on my counter, you will want to take the time to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell, drop a comment in the comment section, and you can check out my other recipes for hot cross buns. I have about 6 recipes for hot cross buns on my channel, including carrot cream cheese, orange zested, and old-fashioned. This has been rising for about 1 hour. And let's turn it over to our surface. We're going to dust the surface again so it does not stick because it's a very sticky dough. Shake it out. Let's dust the surface of the dough. Lightly dusted. because too much flour can change the recipe. I'm just giving this a little pat to stretch it out so I can get 12 equal pieces. All my other hot cross buns recipe will be down in the description box as well as this recipe. I have some amazing ones. This recipe will not have any icing, but rather we will make a flour paste to add our crosses. If you want a recipe that has icing on top, I'm going to put it just above there. You can click that, or you can go down in the description box and check out my other hot cross buns recipe. I also have chocolate brown butter hot cross buns on the channel as well. We're going to evenly roll these into 12 balls. Place these on a lined baking tray, and we're going to cover them up and allow them to sit for another hour before we pop them in the oven. Then we're going to bake them at 350 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit until they are nice and golden. We are using flour paste as I mentioned before for the top, the crosses. So I have added water and icing sugar. With just a little bit of flour to make a very soft piece. The buns in the oven are smelling fantastic. So 10 minutes before they are ready, we are going to take them out. Add the paste in a piping bag. And now it's time to pipe our crosses. The only thing I find with this recipe, I could have made the crosses a little bit smaller, but I think they are okay, looking a little bit rustic like they are. Pop these back in the oven for another 10 to 15 minutes. And now they are done, and I am glazing them to give them a beautiful shine and extra flavor. And you will find the recipe for the glaze in the description box. And I also use the same glaze in my other hot cross buns recipe. And this is the completed look. These were amazing and they disappeared in no time. Hot cross buns can take a little bit of time, but you will certainly enjoy the reward in the very end. I'm encourage all of my viewers to leave your thoughts in the comments about your own baking experience with hot cross buns, and you can check out my other baking videos. This is so easy to make that even my 12-year-old can make it. Thank you for joining. See you on another good day for another great recipe.